98FM. The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian Kennedy.
Here's an issue that's very prevalent at the moment. If you have a child that's in primary school, this will be right up your alley. Sports Day is coming up in schools all over the country, or if it hasn't happened already in some. When we were growing up, Sports Day was very competitive. The only kids who went home with medals were the kids that won, be it an egg and spoon race or the relay race. Well, that's all changed now, according to a story in the news today. Schools are now afraid to praise some children and not praise others. Have a listen to this story from the Mail today. Winning is banned at more than half of primary school sports days. More than half of the primary schools are holding non-competitive sports days that fail to announce winners, according to a new survey. The findings have been revealed in a poll by Families Online, which warns that youngsters must learn that losing is completely okay. 57% of parents surveyed said their children's infant and primary schools hold sports days with a non-competitive theme. However, 82% wanted old school competitive sports days back on the basis that children must realise you can't always win everything in life. Sometimes you have to lose. Louise, you're on 98FM. How are you, Louise?
Hi, Adrian.
Your child's sports day was last week.
Yeah, and she had a great day. She won the first round of the sack race, made it to the final, didn't win it, and was perfectly fine. Because at 5, she realises you can't win everything. Sometimes you don't win, and she had a great day. She had loads of fun.
Do you think that's an important lesson for children to learn?
It's very important, Adrian, because it follows you in life.
Okay, but what about the opposite? For example, and I'm not saying it traumatised me, but when I was at school, I never won anything at a sports day ever.
I never won a medal either,
right.
Adrian,
now,
and I don't think it adversely affected me.
But does it? That's the question. Does it not affect a child's confidence if they just never ever win?
No, because kids are all good at different things. I wasn't good at sports. I was good at other things. And my daughter, I don't know whether she'll be good at sports because she takes after me and I can't walk in a straight line. But she's good at other things. She has a great imagination. She puts on little shows and all. You have to teach our kids that you can't win at everything.
So why do you think then that more than half of primary schools are now holding non-competitive sports days?
Because I think it's just this PC culture where it's not acceptable to be a bit aggressive and go after what you want, and it's an awful lot to do with parenting, that people don't want to say no to their kids and want to give them everything they want, and when they don't win a medal, that's like being told no.
Yeah, okay, but you say you never won a medal like I didn't. It did not affect... hang on, when it came to, say, 5th class, after like 5 years of never winning a medal, by 5th class I wasn't even arsed taking part in it because I knew I wasn't going to win because I was no good. That's not a good thing to...
It's not a good thing, Adrian, but I think my mum just told me, you're not always going to win at everything, but you have to try everything. That's what I tell my daughter. You mightn't like everything in life, but you have to give it a try, because if you don't, how do you know? She mightn't always be the best at everything, but you have to go out and give your best at everything she does. And she
Okay,
did.
but what about the opposite then? The kids who are so good that they always win. They win everything. If you have a non-competitive sports day, it spreads it around a little bit.
I think it just gives a sense of entitlement that if you don't try your best, you still get something. At this school sports day, there was a couple of people who did win multiple medals. And they ran the race, they deserved that. And I think you're doing a disservice to the kids that would win the races, because they're like, well, I'm giving my best and I'm trying it and I'm getting nothing far. And there's someone walking the race because they know they're going to get a medal.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. Anthony, you're on 98FM. How are you, Anthony?
All right, how are you?
Good, thanks, Anthony. You believe that the schools that are having non-competitive sports days are doing it the right way?
No, they're not doing it the right way. They should be giving out medals to all the kids who participate. That's exactly what a non-competitive sports day is. That everybody gets a medal. Yeah, well, that's what should happen. Because if you don't give kids out medals, even if they win or lose, you're just going to make some kids upset. For example, one of my nephews, over a year or so ago, he was in a sports day. He was a bit sad he didn't get a medal. So I had to give him some medals I had from field hockey to cheer him up.
Hang on for 1 second. So the young fella won nothing,
Yeah,
and you, in order to console him, you gave him a medal of yours just to make him feel better.
Yeah, an old medal I had from years ago. I didn't need it anymore.
I mean, it's a very nice gesture on your part, but why should you have felt the need to do that? Surely the young fella should just accept that he didn't win.
I wanted to cheer up my nephew. That's it.
Yeah, I get that, but could he not accept that he didn't win?
He's a young kid. He has Asperger's. He has autism like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what difference does that make? Even somebody with autism needs to learn that you can't win everything.
I know that, but like when I was a young boy, I didn't like losing that much either.
Nobody likes losing, but it is part of life.
But I just think it's a good idea that all participants should be given medals. That's just what I believe.
That all participants should be... Well, there you go, Louise. All participants should be given medals. End of.
And they shouldn't grade a test, because if Jim gets an A and John gets a B, he's going to be hurt. You're setting them up for failure. In life, they're going to have to compete for everything. You're going to have to compete for jobs. They're going to have to compete for places in college. You're going to have to learn that you have to give it everything you've got, and sometimes that's not enough. And it's a very hard lesson, but it's better to learn at 5 than at 15. That's life. Life isn't fair. If it was, we'd all get medals. We'd all get 50,000 a year jobs. We'd all get that place in college. We'd all get that girl or boy we fancied. But that's not my fun.
Well, I personally just think it should be given, because when you're only 5 or so years old...
The 4th year they do the sports...
But okay, but sorry, what's your name? Anthony.
Yeah.
Her point was, and it's a very valid point, should we give everybody A's in their leaving cert so as not to upset the ones that would have got C's and D's?
Of course not. That's a whole different thing.
Like, where does this end? In other words, you have to learn in life that not everything is going to be hunky-dory. Not everything is going to be... You're not going to be brilliant at everything. You're going to be good at some things and not good at other things.
Yeah, that is true, but at the age of only 5 or so, I don't think that should be taught. Like, wait till around, say, 6 or 7 or so, and they're a bit older.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. Jason, you're on Dublin's 98FM. How are you, Jason?
How you doing there?
Now, Jason, this annoys you. Why?
I've got a son there that's 3 years old, and I tell you one thing, if he comes back from a sports day with a 5th place medal, it'll be going in the bin, because he was no good at it. The reality is that us in the West need to learn that we have to toughen up a little bit. And, sometimes there's people that are good at physical sports and that, boxing, and I was good at boxing as a kid. I was an amateur boxer, but, I didn't go on to being a professional boxer because I wasn't good enough. And in the end, you have to be good at these things to get the 1st, 2nd or 3rd place. I mean, if the Olympic Games goes down the road as everyone's a winner, it'll be some pathetic Olympic Games, won't it? I mean...
Yeah, probably will, but this is different. This is about kids. And
no,
I was saying a couple of minutes ago, when I was a kid, I never won a medal on sports day. Now, I'm not saying it affected me in any way, but could affect your confidence.
Yeah, but it would teach you that you were no good at sports, Adrian, and then maybe you should have moved on to something else, like the radio, and that's what you did. But if someone kept telling you were good at football and you were crap, I mean, the reality was you would have been really upset at a later date, wouldn't you?
So it's just prolonging the hurt.
Of course it's prolonging the hurt. Ultimately, the reason that you didn't do any good at sports day, because the reality was you obviously weren't very good. And kids need to realise is that we all have our gifts. Some of us it isn't sports. Some of us write poetry. Some of us read. Some of us are actors. There's all sorts of different gifts in this world. And sadly, we all need to make our kids realise that, you ain't all going to be winners, or else it'd be a really sad place to live if we're all one.
Okay, so it's a part of growing up, is it? To know that you can lose at some things?
Of course it's part of growing up. Life is tough.
So why do you think, then, that more than half of primary schools are now holding non-competitive sports days?
I have no idea. why everybody has to give somebody a medal. No idea whatsoever. It's politically correctness gone mental as far as I'm concerned. I tell you what, if you went to China, you went to Russia, and you went to these countries where the kids are excelling at the moment, I bet they're not all getting medals.
Okay, now I just got the message this second, and it says, I never won a medal in school, and to this day, it still affects me every day. That's not a good thing to carry through life, is it? If he's still carrying that to this day, he's got bigger problems than not winning the medal. That's all I can say. Because there's loads of things I didn't win as a kid. You've got to toughen up and you've got to get on with life. Oh, well, Anthony, and I apply this to your nephew, you've just got to pick yourself up and get on with life.
Well, I'm just a little surprised at that text you sent to a person who didn't win a medal, still upset about it to this day. That kind of proves the point. If you don't give him like a little medal or something to help boost up self-esteem
but
and confidence...
To give a child a medal for coming, like Jason said, 5th place in a 5-person race is a little bit patronising, is it not?
Well, in that case, don't call it a medal for 5th place. Just call it a participation medal. Just something for even taking part.
Well, there you go. Everyone should get a participation medal, Jason.
So there's no competition anymore, really, is what he's saying. We don't compete. We just all participate. There is. You just make sure that those who weren't in the top 3 get something so they don't feel sad. Pathetic. Sorry, just pathetic.
Pathetic. All right, let me just bring in one last call on this. And that's you, Liz. You're on 98FM. How are you, Liz?
Hiya.
Hi. What did you want to say?
I agree with that caller there. It's just that it's pathetic. It is. Basically, all that Anthony, is that his name? All he's taught his nephew is that if he cries, he gets what he wants.
Actually, Anthony, is she not right? Anthony, the child gets what he wants, whether he deserves it or not.
Once he cries.
That's
once he's sad. You just said that's what happened. He went to sports day, didn't win. He was upset because he didn't get a medal, and you went and found a medal for him. All you've taught him is that if he comes to his Uncle Anthony with tears in his eyes, he'll get what he wants to make him feel happy.
Well, that's not the case. That's not the case.
That is, but that's all you're teaching him. And that's all any parent that does this participation crap is teaching your child. It's okay to lose at things. It's okay to not come forth. It's okay that you're not the fastest runner or you couldn't hold your egg on your spoon. That's all okay. Once you tried your best is always good enough, and you don't need a medal to tell you that.
Okay, you heard the message I read out a couple of minutes ago, Liz, from a guy, well, actually, I don't know if it's a fella or a girl, to be honest, who says that never won a medal at school ever, and it still affects me to this day. In other words, obviously, this person's confidence was shattered as a result of never, ever winning anything.
At the same time, and I'd agree with the other caller that said if that's the case, I think that texter has more going on than the fact that he's just holding on to that he didn't win a medal at sports day, because...
Well, funny enough, I remember...
I didn't win medals for races either. I was always a big kid, wasn't the fastest runner in the world, but put me in a swimming pool and I got a medal. So every kid is good at some things. You just have to encourage your child that when you're good at something, that's great, and they put their effort into it, but it is okay to not be good at everything. It's okay to not get a medal in the race, and it's okay to not get an A on the test. Once you try your best is always good enough.
All right, Liz, thanks very much indeed for your call. Thank you, Anthony, for your call. Thank you, all of you, for your calls. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM. The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With